Snow White. Long ago in wintertime, there was a queen sewing by a window. Seeing snowflakes falling, the queen wished,
"If only I could have a daughter, white as snow, red as blood, and black as ebony."
Soon after, she gave birth to a daughter. The little girl's hair was as dark as ebony. Her lips were as red as blood, and her skin was as white as snow. She was named Snow White. After the queen gave birth to Snow White, she died. A year later, the king remarried. The new queen was very proud of her beauty and could not bear to have anyone prettier than her. She had a magic mirror, and every day she would ask the mirror,
"Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?"
Every time the mirror would honestly reply,
"You are, O Queen, is the fairest in the world."
The queen was very happy. Day after day, Snow White was growing up and becoming more and more beautiful. One day, when the queen asked the same question, the mirror replied,
"You, O Queen, are fair, but Snow White is the fairest of them all."
The queen was very angry and felt envy towards Snow White. When she could not bear to see Snow White any longer, she ordered a hunter to kill Snow White. The hunter was instructed to bring back Snow White's heart to prove that. When the hunter and Snow White were in the forest, he was not hard-hearted enough to kill Snow White. So the hunter let her go and brought back a deer's heart to the queen instead. Not knowing where to go, Snow White went deeper and deeper into the forest, where she found a cottage. Inside the cottage, there were 7 chairs around a table. On the table, there were 7 plates of food. There were also 7 little beds in the corner. As Snow White was very hungry and tired, she ate up one of the meals. Because the beds were too small, Snow White joined them together to make one big bed and slept in it. When night fell, the owners of the cottage, the 7 dwarfs, came back. They noticed that someone had eaten their food. Then they found Snow White was sleeping in the bed. Snow White was awoken by the noise when they all gathered around her. After she had told them what had happened to her, they felt sorry for her and asked her to stay. Every day, when the 7 dwarfs went to work, Snow White would tidy up the house and prepare the meals for them. One day, the queen asked her magic mirror,
"Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?"
and the mirror replied,
You, O Queen, are fair, but over the hill where the 7 dwarfs lived, Snow White is the fairest of them all.
The queen was angry to know that Snow White was still alive. The next day, she dressed up as an old woman who sold apples. She came near to the cottage and brought a poisonous apple to Snow White. The apple looked so lovely that Snow White forgot the warning from the dwarfs and bit the apple. The moment Snow White bit into the apple, it choked her to death. That night, when the dwarfs went back, they were shocked to find that Snow White was dead. To save her, they examined her body, but could not find anything that had poisoned her. The dwarfs could not bear to bury Snow White because she looked like she was still alive. So they put her into a glass coffin. They put the coffin on the hilltop, and each took turns to keep watch over the coffin. One day, a prince from another kingdom was passing by the hilltop. When his eyes fell on Snow White, he was in love with her at once. He persuaded the dwarfs to open the coffin and allow him to kiss Snow White. At the moment the prince kissed Snow White's red lips, she coughed out the apple from her mouth and woke up. They were happy to see that Snow White was alive again. The prince took Snow White to his castle. Soon after that, Snow White's father, the king, knew what the queen had done to Snow White, and he put her into jail. Finally, the prince and Snow White got married, and they lived happily ever after.